second tries the charm.
Yeah, second try. Welcome to Zelda Speedruns for another Zelda 2 Randomizer. This time it's a Max Rando. I have here in the booth Victor Santa Fe and Jacquemus, who I will let take over here.
Well, thank you very much, you fantastic human that's hosting everything here. And yes, hello there, all you beautiful humans on the internet. I hope you're all doing fantastic on this fine Monday evening. We are here live on zeldaspeedruns.twitch or twitch.zeldaspeedruns, whichever order you prefer. I'm sure one of them will work, the other one may not. But we have our second race of the early 2020 Zelda 2 Randomizer Max Rando tournament. And tonight we've got a bit of a barn burner between two old school, very talented players. On the left side of your screen, we have bentglasstube, and on the right side, we have jkoper. My name is Jacquemus Wedge, and I am joined by my usual partner in crime, Victor Santa Fe. Victor, tell us how you're doing tonight, son.
Everything's fine, Mr. Jacquemus. So, yeah, tonight we have a very, very generous seed. The players will have to play starting with 5 heart containers and the fairy spell and the raft, the boots, the magic key. And, yeah, they only have to place 5 gems. So, yeah, this could be... I'd say this could take like 45 minutes to 1 hour, depending on what trolls this one gives us.
There are quite a lot of things that could impede their progress here. 5 gems is quite a bit on its own, but of important items that they aren't starting with, the glove is usually the biggest gatekeeping item in this randomizer. They do, however, both start with the raft and the boots, which give them massive ability to explore the overworld, and also the magic key, which means they'll be able to unlock any door inside of a dungeon. But that glove is a different sort of key and lock system in and of itself. They may have to find that, especially considering that they have 5 dungeons to go through. And as we're seeing on bentglasstube's side, there are a lot of townspeople that do not know anything right now. Victor.
So, as we can see, jkoper sailed to the eastern continent immediately. So that's a very bold move. The good thing about that is that you can get a lot of 500 pivacs around, so that can get your levels pretty good. But it is also risky because you can find the glove near the start, so it's a gamble.
Absolutely, Victor, but with great risks often come great rewards. The main reason to want to go to that Eastern continent first, as you said, is just even if you're not necessarily finding an item being any of the progression items, an item that leads to a spell, or an additional heart container or magic container, chances are you are going to find a pea bag, and there's a lot of just both desert and forest tiles on that eastern continent that just naturally have pea bags on them. Pea bags give you a ton of points. They can allow you to level up very quickly, and, well, this is a sort of hybrid RPG game, so having good levels is always beneficial.
So bentglasstube got the life spell out of the town of Raru, while jkoper got the spell out of the town of Naburu. And he's about to get his second spell out of the town of Old Kasuto.
And this game does indeed need more categories, but he is rewarded with the Spell of Thunder. That will be extremely valuable should Thunderbird be a required foe at the very end of the game.
And it is castable for him because he already found a magic container, so yeah, that's very good at the start of the game, because there are some encounters that are pretty impossible with low levels, and being able to cast Thunder once is very, very useful.
Low-level Thunder is very conducive to quick-level games, absolutely. It's very rare that you're just able to cast Thunder at level 1. Even with one extra magic container, it's usually quite expensive at level 1, but at that relatively paltry 79 cost, that could be quite abusable for jkoper, even though he did just find a 500-point bag on that desert tile and has leveled up just a little bit here.
And now we see bentglasstube about to get his down stuff technique. Oh no, I guess he found the medicine somewhere and he's about to bring it in. Oh no, he entered for the hint, so he gets the hint that the medicine is on Palace 3.
The hint system is new to what we're seeing in the randomizer here. It's been around for a little while, but I don't think it's been featured in any tournament so far. So what happens is some random NPCs in random towns, you can actually get hints as to where certain items are, and if you're willing to take the time to townspeople, that could potentially save you a ton of time over, say, compared to old races where players would blindly explore the 30-some plus rooms of both Palace 5 and 6 looking for, say, the glove, or the boots, or some other required item. Yes.
Yeah, so bentglasstube got the child out of the grass tile, so that will help him get the spell out of the town of Darunia, while jkoper is in Palace 1. Hoping to get the item out of there and place a gem very quickly into this game.
Absolutely. With 5 gems that both players need to place, a couple of quick palaces can give you the early start. jkoper in a rough spot at the end of that bridge with that nasty hammer brother. Very good use of the thunder spell to get through the room and continue playing.
Yeah, however, he was a bit swaggy because he didn't use the thunder spell until he already crossed the bridge, which it's pretty difficult crossing that bridge with that hammer brother there. So yeah, he's a great player.
Absolutely, he's one of the old pros here. jkoper is one of the original players of Zelda 2 Randomizer. He's been around basically as long as the creator Digshake has, and as far as I've heard to this point, retired multiple-time champion of these tournaments, Unos. jkoper's been around there since the beginning, just like those guys, and he's a very good player at this game, and we're seeing some good, definitely some good combat on his side so far. As far as who's ahead overall, though, there's quite a lot that factors into that. It's still very early. A lot can happen. Let's see how things go.
And yeah, very different routes. So jkoper found the candle inside Palace 1. So that could be a little bit helpful. Not what he was looking for, but anyways, it will help him.
And we just saw one of the most interesting features of the max rando settings. Enemies can just straight up drop keys for you. For players that have played this randomizer for quite a long time, getting a random key drop is, well, it's enormous. That just completely changes the way that you can approach so many different things there. Just having a key that you can use wherever you want is a huge thing. And inside that cave, we did see BGT pick up that trophy. And we now know where Great Palace is, at the bottom left, or, if you prefer cardinal directions, southwest corner of West Hyrule. So that's where our players are going to be looking to finish things off, but in the meantime, we still have some gems to place, and I dare say some items and spells to collect.
Yeah, I also think that Great Palace location is pretty easy to miss, so let's hope that jkoper doesn't miss it when he explores the Western continent.
I don't think that's a particular concern, at least on Coper's part there. He's played so many different randomizers where the map is randomized that he won't. I don't think he would take anything for granted unless he's actually seen the edge of the map. So even though it's tucked away in that lower corner, I don't think that's something that we'll have to worry about. Both of the players are going to know where the Great Palace is at the end. What's important, though, is kind of the route to get there right now. We're looking at both of our players, and Coper has an edge, at least from having been into, as we're seeing here, Palace 1. He's picked up that candle, should find the end and place that gem soon. But to counter that, BGT has 2 spell items. And while we did start with Thunder, there are a couple of other spells that we did not start with that could come into play at later points. So we'll just have to see if that advantage turns into something. And as I say that, Coper walks into the boss room for Palace 1, Horsehead here. He's got attack level 3. That's no problem. He's going to knock him out and grab the key, and he's going to place his first gem here. What I'm curious to see, and yes, Coper is going to accept the experience and take that level up. Meanwhile, BGT in the town of Ruto steps on to King's Tomb, and the NPC there, of course, knows nothing.
And yeah, bentglasstube got a hint about Maze Island, and the hint said that one of the items in Maze Island was the cross, so we know that in case we are ruling out locations for the glove later on. So jkoper found the thunder spell in the town of Old Kazuto, and if you don't do Palace 4, if you do the other palaces, in the spells department, he's already kind of in go mode. So far, I think jkoper's gamble is paying off a bit, because as until now, bentglasstube hasn't found anything very valuable in the Western continent. So let's see how things happen. He enters.
There is a certain musical instrument that can put a little bit of a hole into that assessment of things, though. BGT has spell items, so if he finds that reflect spell, he's going to be able to do level 4 no problem. Now, what's tricky here is if level 4 is one of the obvious palaces, and then one of the, say, free palaces, let's say 1 or 3, happens to be buried underneath Three-Eyed Rock, that necessitates jkoper either to find that reflect spell or that flute to get into that easier palace.
Yeah,
so it's early enough that there are at least 7 sides to every coin.
Yeah. Yeah, this game, anything can happen in this game. We've all seen it. So the item room inside Palace 3 for bentglasstube, and he's about to pick up the medicine. So he has all the spell items.
Yeah, that could be a huge pickup there. BGT isn't going to have to worry about which palace he tackles there, assuming he cashes all those in, and whether or not one of those leads to the reflect spell, or whether reflect was looking at their spell list. I think it'd be New Kazuto was the only one they didn't have that is technically a free spell, but yeah, that could play quite to his advantage there if Three-Eyed Rock is not Palace 4 or the Great Palace. So we'll just kind of have to see what happens from here.
So jkoper got an item out of Maze Island, but I didn't see what it was. We know one of those items is the cross, but I don't know what he got in the drop that has the magic container in the vanilla version of this game.
I am not going to 100% confirm it, but I did think I saw a magic container out of the corner of my eye, so that may be it. In this second drop, however, he did find the cross, so he can see invisible enemies, which the randomizer loves to throw at you in random encounters all over Eastern Hyrule. So that's a useful pickup, not a required one, but useful all the same.
Yeah, I don't think it was a magic container because he already had 5 before entering Maze Island. He was able to cast Thunder, and Thunder cost 79. So yeah, I believe it was a P-bag or something like that, because I haven't seen him open his menu, so I don't know what he grabbed there.
Of course. Victor, by the way, do you know what the P stands for in P-bag? Why are you laughing?
I don't know. I guess it is points, but my imagination
yeah, it's points.
just
What's so funny about that? It's a points
wild.
bag. Why is that hilarious? I don't understand it.
I don't know. Schmitty, who was your opponent earlier, used to take out the little stick out of the P, so it was a D-bag. But now he's changed it. He uses a big S, and I have forgotten to ask him why he does that. But well, jkoper entering the town of New Kasuto. Let's see what's inside.
Yeah, New Kasuto has been discovered. There's a spell up for grab here, and with the spell, oh, that's a mouthful. Our players can discover yet another item at the back end of the town, and yes, indeed, the chimney knows nothing.
Meanwhile, bentglasstube grabs the jump spell out of the town of Mito. And yeah, miniature catfish. The team of Zelda speedruns is amazing and has some amazing features in their streams, as this one you mentioned, that let you see who's talking.
Spoiler alert, I am not one of those amazing features. And lo and behold, in New Kasuto, jkoper... Wow, I'm terribly sorry. I should have hit my push to talk button. That's on me. Has picked up the shield spell and also found another magic container. Both very useful pickups all around.
Yep. So bentglasstube is going across the jump cave. You don't see that very often, and he doesn't have enough magic to cast jump, so he needs 2 death abuse to this Moa.
Yep, taking a death to refill the magic and see where the cave goes. We haven't seen too much of the western side of Hyrule yet, though, so this could definitely lead to some very profitable locations. Most notably, the glove has still not been discovered, and, well, 999,999 times out of a million, it is a required item.
Yeah, in this kind of game with 5 gems, there's a very, very low probability of not needing something as the glove. So yeah, that's the item to look for at this moment.
While it is absolutely the most important item to find based on what have started, placing gems, you still need to place 5 of them. So it's impossible to say who's ahead at this moment. That's the beautiful thing about the Zelda 2 Randomizer. There's so many different paths through the game until the first player is actually able to legitimately enter the Great Palace. You don't know who's ahead. So this is exciting stuff, to say the least.
So bentglasstube found a dead end at the other side of Jump Cave, so he just lost a ton of time. And he's walking back, so that's even worse. And on the other hand, we see that jkoper has seen the three-eyed rock, so there's the possibility of the worst case scenario that Jackimus said is augmenting the probability of that happening.
Well, the three-eyed rock is always going to be there. It's just a matter of which dungeon is buried behind it. I mean, well, to be fair, we have already seen Great Palace, so we know that's not buried behind there. But anytime Great Palace is behind three-eyed rock, well, you just straight up need the flute, no way around it. But the situation I mentioned earlier there is a situation where BGT has access to all the spells. And if a non-Palace 4 is behind Three-Eyed Rock, meaning that would be, at this point, the fifth dungeon that jkoper would have to place without the access to the Reflect spell or the flute to open Three-Eyed Rock. BGT has a theoretical advantage. So yeah, there's still quite a lot of things that can happen here. I like this game a lot. I wish I was playing it right now, but I'm at least talking about it, so I can settle for that.
Yeah, we all love to imagine what can troll these players. And bentglasstube is in the Eastern Continent, and jkoper returned home to the Western Continent. So yeah, it seems the overworld isn't helping a lot with progress items, so I guess palaces and Dead Mountain enter the options for the glove to be.
Yes, absolutely. This is definitely not going to be a quick seed. We're going to see between both players, I basically guarantee it right now, we are going to see every explorable, searchable spot here. Koper just found a 500 point bag on the fall down into it and get it tile in Death Mountain. That gives him attack level 5. Normally, you would just love to have attack level 5, but this is max rando, so attack level 5 could be, unfortunately, as effective as in the seed that I played against Smitty earlier tonight, attack level 2, because I remember Thunderbird taking over 40 hits to kill there, so
wow.
But based on that one-hit kill of the Blue Moblin on Koper's side, I think we can safely say that attack level 5 is perfectly serviceable in this seed at the very least. And Koper finds a magic container in the bowels of... Thought he was in Death Mountain, but now I'm looking at it again, it's like, no, he's in the Heart Container Cave on the Western Continent there. Yes. BGT takes a game over. Looked like it was an intentional one. So, see what he's up to here. Walking over the water, doing the whole, that person from the Bible who's, girls and stuff walking on water thing there. Don't stringent we are on Twitch these days. Sorry if I'm being a little too precautious there. But it looks like we've stumbled into Palace 3 on BGT's side, and he's going to bail for now.
Yeah, he already found the item, and he doesn't want to be blocked looking for the boss. So
yes,
miniature
absolutely.
catfish.
Very respectable decision to just pocket that location in your memory for elsewhere. We've got Koper in the trophy cave here. Let's see what we have at the back of this potential beauty of a cave. And it's just a point bag, 500 points. can take a level, save for another level. That's totally up to him. Coper's going to take that life level. I completely respect that. You want to have in the rando. I think it's very important to balance your stats across all categories. Just saying. Maybe in the minority, but just saying.
Okay, so answering to chat, miniature catfish question about what Max Rando does. Well, it is the most random category of this randomizer, and it includes some pretty sick stuff, like starting with random heart containers. So you can start with one heart container, and there's the possibility that you can get only one heart container throughout the whole seed, because the maximum number of heart containers is also randomized. Also, the starting spells and the starting items are random, so you can start with the fairy spell like they did, and you can start with the raft, the boots, and the magic key as the players in this one did. And also, what's random is the number of gems that you have to place before entering Great Palace. Thunderbird could be or could not be required. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is random about this category, and that's why we see these players taking these routes that are so different. So yeah, very random, and it is a category where you have to gamble a lot.
And one thing I believe that is not randomly given to you at the start, and anyone, and free to correct me if I'm wrong, are the 3 different quest items required to learn a spell in 3 different towns. We just saw Coper pick up the child in Stonehenge. But as far as I'm aware, you can't start with any of those quest items, and that is simply because there's no way to tell that you actually have them in your inventory whatsoever. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, though.
Yeah, that is correct. There's a new feature in the randomizer that maybe you're not familiar with, and that's the possibility to remove spell items. So the ladies that guard the houses with the spells are free if you turn on that option.
Oh yes, I remember that option. I believe it was the main human that pushed for that option to be included in the older versions of the randomizer. God bless him. Zarnax is a great human. On the right side of your screen, we just saw jkoper pick up that flute. So the situation we were talking about earlier about Reflect maybe being difficult to acquire doesn't matter too much anymore, because Coper can now access any palace that he so pleases at this point. But that all-important glove is still that sort of Damocles dangling over both of our competitors' heads right now. That is the big find right now. It's not guaranteed that you require the glove, but how many seeds of this game do you not need the glove to smash through blocks in 2, 3, 5, 6, or most likely the final dungeon, the Great Palace? As we saw Coper pick up his trophy just a moment ago, BGT walked into the vanilla trophy cave. He's kind of thinking about things a little bit here. He doesn't have that candle. We've seen Coper go through here before. We know it's not too ridiculous, but when you can't see, it's a little difficult. Let's see what happens.
Okay, and jkoper has 7 magic containers, and that's the requirement for of the lady in New Kasuto. So that's another item location that has opened for jkoper. So yeah, we'll see what that glove is, where that glove is hiding.
BGT electing not to take those early. Really want to act. You can look at the experience levels of both of our players at the top of both of their screens there. BGT sitting at 3/2/2, that is 3 attack, 2 magic, 2 life, and jkoper sitting at 5 attack, 3 magic, and 4 life. Definitely an experience advantage for jkoper so far in this race.
Okay, so the places where the glove could be, we're talking about Palace 2, Palace 4, Palace 5, Palace 6. I'm not sure if we've seen the desert tile. I don't believe so. And I believe we haven't seen the Piba caves in the eastern continent either. So far,
I think I speak for everyone who is both commentating and watching this race. I think we all want to see that glove buried 20 runes deep into Palace 5, just to keep this thing going for a nice solid 2-ish hours.
Yeah, I love this game so much that's very, very promising. Also, I believe I forgot one of the most important locations where the glove could be, and that is Hammer Cave. And Hammer Cave lies inside that mountain, and it can be very, very, very deep inside it. There's sometimes the possibility of Hammer Cave being inside a cluster of only 2 caves, so you have to find the correct cave before entering Hammer Cave. So yeah, it could be pretty nasty.
Oh, Death Mountain is potentially an absolute nightmare in the randomizer. You are not wrong, Victor. We see jkoper pick up that fire spell. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the flags we have on right now, the fire spell is still coupled with another spell?
It is.
Right, so that could potentially be a very big pickup depending on which spell it's coupled with.
Yeah, you'd always want it to be linked to the thunder spell, because that will make survivability and it will make you way faster inside encounters and palaces. But sometimes if you are looking for the reflect spell and you find the fire spell and it is reflect, it can be a godsend. Also in GP, it is very useful if it is linked to the fairy spell.
And here we have going into Three-Eyed Rock, and yes, it's going to be the equivalent of Palace 2. So not the shortest palace, not the longest one either, not the most difficult enemies, just a matter of, well, seeing if that glove is in there and trying to finish things off. It's also possible that the glove is not in here and you do need the glove to get to the boss. There is one room in Palace 2 that it is required to have the glove to pass through left or right. Whether or not that's in the path, well, that's up to that glorious creator of all these things that we're playing that we call Dig Shake. So let's just see what happens there. And very interestingly enough, we have some blue Stalfos as the dropper enemy in Palace 2, and therefore also Palace 5. And they're worth 100 points there, so if either of our players take notice of that and feel they need some levels, they could pretty quickly gain some experience there and power up.
Yeah, that's one of the things that you have to look for when you have a very low survivability seed, like for example starting with 1 heart container, is check the drippers. They could get your levels up pretty quickly and let you survive.
BG2, oh wow, sorry, I mangled. BGT shows that he is not from Canada, as he successfully uses the jump spell to jump over that Canadian hole, but alas does not have the glove, so he's just going to throw himself down there. Obviously, he is in Palace number 6, and we'll see where that ends up for him.
Meanwhile, jkoper finds the item in Palace 2, and unfortunately for him, it is a payback.
Certainly not what he wanted to see at this. I know jkoper fairly well, and looking at that 5-3-4, I mean, he'll take a few levels here and there, pretty sure he's fairly comfortable with what he has already. Naturally, the big find is the glove. I'm sure that's what he was hoping to see there. But alas, there is no glove, there is no love. The search continues forevermore.
Yeah, he still has the possibility of this being a glove lock palace. So yeah, he's hoping the way to the boss is not blocked. Meanwhile, bentglasstube is inside a glove lock palace too. He still doesn't know if it will be glove lock either for the item or the boss or both of them. So yeah, the guys are suffering. They're resorting to their last options. But thankfully for jkoper, the boss was not glove lock, and he's able to place his second gem of the night.
Yes, that is indeed 2 gems down for jkoper. BGT exploring Palace 6 here, and while there are a few rooms that require the glove, we haven't seen enough of Palace 6 yet to determine whether or not the glove is required to get through. And even more importantly, the glove itself could be inside Palace 6. So you can't help but admire the daring of BGT right now when we have so many unknowns still on the board.
Yeah, we've already seen 2 of the glove blocks. We've seen the Canadian hole, and we've seen the what we call the BGT room, the room named after the legend.
The myth, the man, the mutant? I kid.
Have you played Winter Solstice?
Personally, no, I have not. It looks extremely interesting, and I intend to make time for it at some point. It looks like a whole new Zelda 2, and, you know, maybe I'm not speaking for everyone here, but let's face it, I am speaking for everyone. What's wrong with that? The answer is nothing. Everyone wants a new Zelda 2. If you don't believe that, you're lying to yourself. Search inside, man. You know, do some soul searching. Look for your inner you. You want more Zelda 2, like we all do.
Yeah, indeed. So, jkoper inside New Kasuto finds out that the magic container lady is hiding a 500 point payback. So that's another location that we can cross out because the glove is not there. So we still have Palace 6, Palace 5, Hammer Cave, and maybe the Peaback Caves in the Eastern Continent, and maybe the Desert Tile, but I'm not sure I've seen them.
Well, based on BGT's side, we may to cross Palace 6 off of that list very soon. He's starting to run out of places to go here. As far as jkoper goes, finding that 500 point P-bag, not what you wanted to see, but personally, I think it's always nice to find some experience points. You get to be just a little bit stronger going forward. Like, at the cost of, oh no, it's half of a second-ish to actually level up. But man, level ups, they level you up. Especially in the rando, when you, like, don't know what your stats are going to be. Like, maybe you're attack level 4, but your sword's effectively 2. But then you go to attack level 5, and some of your attacks, you know, effectively level 6. It's crazy. Level ups, they can be really good. Except when they're not. Just saying.
Yep. So we see BGT dropping in Palace 6. There's the statue drop. There is the fairy hole, and he goes inside, hoping that either the item or the boss is here. And when he looks, he's already been here.
Well, BGT's already been in this room before, but he hasn't taken both exits, so he's naturally going to try the opposite direction here and hope for the best. A nice little trick that we didn't commentate on live on jkoper's side. It's this nice little trick called fairy feet. So what happens is, sometimes, you have to walk onto a tile on the world map and then go through a battle scene to get to the other side. But if you turn into a fairy, and if you really, really finagle yourself, like, we're talking like 1 frame presses to basically get your fairy off the screen, but not return you to the world map, you press that other direction, and then boom, you skip that whole battle scene like a boss. And while we're on the subject of that, another cool fairy trick that we just saw on jkoper's side, you can just turn into a fairy and go down that chimney. So, there you go. But, seems like Koper already had that sword technique, so not the most important thing to be doing right about now.
So jkoper is gonna turn his child for a spell. And what will he get? Hey, Trails!
Look, all you humans, I love my daughter very much, but if I could turn her into a reflect spell, nah, who am I kidding? I'd still want my daughter. Sorry.
But Jackimus, you have to consider that most of the times Palace 4 is a very short palace, so in this case it is very, very, very tempting.
Sacrifice my daughter for an easy palace.
Also, you don't have...
You drive a hard bargain, Victor. I'm not sure what to say to that right now. Also, sweetheart, if you're actually watching this or catching the replay, I love you.
Okay, and jkoper finding a pigback inside one of the eastern pigback caves in... I was gonna say in the eastern continent, but that was redundant. So, locations for the glove so far are Palace 5, Palace 6 because bentglasstube is no longer there, and Hammer Cave, I believe. I'm
not going to 100% jump to conclusions, but it did look like BGT explored as much of Palace 6 as he could have, so I don't think it's there. So I'm thinking it's more going to be very deep into Palace 5, or, well...
Oh,
there's our answer. There it is.
Oh,
there it is. It's just in one of the generic P-Bag caves on East Hyrule there. So, jkoper has that glove there. He's got 2 gems placed. He has honestly everything he needs. So, I'm not a fan of, all your cool kids' little terms and stuff. But to make it easier for y'all, jkoper is in go mode, or as I like to call, Jackimus mode. And I call it that because it's awesome.
It certainly is. And yeah, so it wasn't that easy. I guess you had to go through some pass-through caves in the eastern continent to access that location. And bentglasstube still has some locations to check before that, I believe. So he enters New Kasuto. He's gonna find a bunch of garbage here, while jkoper is gonna place his gems. But well, so jkoper has a huge lead, but as we saw this afternoon, Great Palace is the great equalizer and anything can happen. Sorry for rubbing your wound, Mr. Jackimus.
What you talking about, Victor?
The fact that Great Palace can turn around a race very easily.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely can. I mean, with, I believe, 72 different rooms, there's quite a few different combinations. And, sometimes, maybe Dark Link's 4 rooms away from the start. But you don't necessarily know that, and you go 20 rooms away and fight Thunderbird. But, that's just the beauty of the randomizer. You can't be upset at that. You can be upset at Dig Shake because it's totally Dig Shake's fault. But you can't be upset at your opponent or the randomizer. That makes no sense.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Hey, I'm always right, buddy. When have I ever been wrong in the 44 minutes that we've ever talked? I think that's the only time we've ever talked. The answer is never. Ergo, I am never wrong. We are racing Zelda 2 Randomizer. This is the 2020 Swiss League leading into the tournament. We have jkoper versus bentglasstube. Everyone who's watching this right now, please follow both of these runners. Also consider following the restreamer. You can follow the commentators if you really, really want to, but me and Victor are really weird, so I don't recommend it, but use your discretion.
Yeah, take those words to heart. So, bentglasstube getting all the things inside New Kasuda because he found one of the magic containers, and so he has 7, and he was able to enter the lady's house to grab a 500 PVAC. He got a level. No, I believe he didn't get a level. He's kind of saving his money for the next gem he places. For the first gem he places, because he hasn't placed gems so far. And Maze Island has Palace 4, and he doesn't have the Reflex spell. I don't remember where jkoper picked it up. I remember.
Well, there's clearly only one to blame for this. Maze Island has Palace 4? I mean, this is a randomizer. That's not supposed to happen.
Yep.
TLDR, for those of you cool internet kids that know your abbreviations, Dig Shake didn't do it right. Victor.
So yeah, I was remembering that the Reflex spell was in the Runia because you had to sell your kit for it. And
Copers walked right into K-Rock's room. If I may, hype my little teeny tiny corner of the Eastern Atlantic North Canadian-ness, Prince Edward Island. We have a radio station called K-Rock. Yes, we do. And every time I put it on my radio, I think about that masked wizard guy. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, they play Rush. They play Alice in Chains. They play Metallica. They play Genesis. It is unapologetically the best radio station I've ever listened to. As jkoper places his 3rd gem and gets attack level 7.
Yeah, I guess the only good thing that they don't play is Zelda 2 Randomizer.
And I can't hold that against them because as much as I love it, that's kind of difficult to convey in a radio format. Like, if there's a way that you can convey this in a radio format, dude, I really want to hear that. Because that sounds awesome. Just saying.
Yeah, and Mr. Trails is gonna cringe because jkoper is still picking up items. He looks articulate and declines.
jkoper actually had probably the closest look you could possibly take to that water of life without actually picking it up. Like, he was pixels away from picking that up, and he was like, no, I don't want to pick you up. I don't want to cure your grandmother. I have better things to do. Ladies and gentlemen, that is jkoper. He's a good friend of mine. I like that guy.
Yep. So yeah, Kool-Aid doesn't suit the tastes of jkoper, but he will finish Palace 4 very soon. Oh, yeah, he hasn't found Karok, right? Or has he? I'm not sure. Oh, he's in Palace 3. Sorry, I'm very distracted. He was looking for...
If there was any confusion, yes, it is indeed Palace 3, as we see Rebenak hanging in that double pillar curtains kind of sort of room, and Koper, a little too aggressive there, is going to take a death, but in this seed, I don't think it matters too much when you have 5 links every time you continue. I mean, that's a lot of links. Like, I mean, you know, if we were playing like Degrees of Kevin Bacon, that's the entire universe right there. That's all I'm saying.
And jkoper is gonna get a level. He's gonna grind a level.
So what's going on here, I believe, I don't think Koper sees a need for attack level 8. What he's gonna do is get up to the points for attack level 8, and I think he's just gonna spend all those points on both magic and life levels here. That is my prediction. Like it. We've got BGT moving through those couple of screens that normally you have to get to Darunia, but when you're going right to left, you're going downhill. I mean, in the randomizer can be a lot of nasty enemies, but just the fact that you're going downhill makes it just a little bit easier than going uphill for sure. We've got all the bubbles in the world here on this second screen. Takes a little bit of damage, but he's going to get through this, no problem. Looks like he might have hit the level up as he was exiting that screen. No, not quite. Not quite, but he's going to get it. Definitely.
And jkoper about to get his attack 9.
Well, it's going to be his attack 8, but I would be very surprised to see attack 8 here. I've known the guy for quite a while, and I'm pretty sure he's going to just abuse the fact that he gets 9,000 experience points out of this manipulated level and boost his magic and life for the final push. He still does have to place another gem at another place here, but that's the play that I personally am expecting him to make. And if I'm wrong about that play, well, my webcam is not working right now, but I guess my phone is, so I will eat a random, not more than a gram object of chat's choice. How does that sound?
I guess it sounds good.
Not to me if he actually picks attack 8. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, good. I'm right. I'm totally... Yeah, look at him taking... jkoper being the strongest human in Zelda 2 right now. Just like burns... Dude, he just burned 9,000 experience and went from life 3 to life 8. So he's basically invincible right now. There's only a few things that can, deal decent damage to you at attack level 8. And he's chilling inside Palace 6 right now, so yeah, we'll see how that goes there.
And bentglasstube has all the spells. So he's a very magical man at this moment. While jkoper is gonna go across the Canadian Hole, and he finds the item. So now we know where the item in Palace 6 was, and he's gonna fight Ribonek. Do you think he'll do it for the points?
An objective term at this point. Oh no, Ribonek got off the side of the screen there. That's always frustrating when that happens here because he's only got to stab him 4 times. Yep, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's gone. Based on probabilities, it's most likely going to be a heart container, and yes, that is exactly what it is.
Meanwhile, bentglasstube is getting close to the glove. Let's hope he doesn't game over, but no, he has 6 more lives. So yeah, he's in the recent P-back cave in the eastern continent, and I believe the sunken P-back cave is very close to this one. So let's hope he finds the glove.
Yes, he's in the wrong item, but the right item cave isn't too far away. He picks up that glove, and knowing him, that will empower him mentally to want to go into all these dungeons and start clearing them out there. So we do have a 4-0 gem deficit here. But once BGT picks that glove up, and considering how difficult Great Palace can be, this lead might shorten just a little bit here. So this race is not over yet, although we do have someone who's clearly in the lead so far. Can't lie about that. That would be cruel. And yes, here it is. Hopefully not get killed by that scorpion, and yep, there it is. Picks up the glove. That's the most important item in this randomizer. About, I don't know, 99% of the time or something like that. No glove, no love.
Yeah, especially in this kind of scene.
John Bloody Thumbs used to say. Yes. So BGT has all the items that he needs. He has some ground to make up, absolutely. jkoper with a very commanding 4-gem lead so far. Let's see how things play out from here. jkoper in 6, looking to place his 5th gem. He's in one of the worst rooms in the game with the Medusa heads.
The VGT room. And he gets a toasty! But the second try, he gets across.
Victor, I gotta say, man, you sounded exactly like that soundbite. You're pretty good at impressions, man. Congratulations.
I'm not, but that one is kind of easy.
Yeah, the toast. I'm not even gonna try to do it because I embarrass myself after what you just did, because that was perfect, man. That was gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. We see BGT walking into the item room. And he's going to pick it up. It's an extra BGT. Now there are slightly more BGTs than normal. That's a lot of consonants. I don't even... When you put that many consonants together without vowels, that's confusing, man. That's all I'm gonna say. And we've got Koper showing up here to fight Barba. Looks like he got a solid 5 hits there, attack 7, so Barba has definitely been randomized to have much higher max HP than normal. Yeah, we're seeing the health bar just melt away after the first couple of rounds here. So yeah, this is a very high HP Barba, and no, it's gone, and it's gone. That's 5 gems for jkoper.
Yeah, he just has to go to Great Palace and pray for a very short one if he wants to end his suffering.
Well, the ball is absolutely in his court at this point. He does have a 5 gems to none lead right now, so commandingly ahead here. Could theoretically explore the Great Palace at his leisure there, unless he forgets how his extremity thingamadoozles on his hands work that are manipulating the buttons. It's, I'm not gonna lie, folks, jkoper is very, very far ahead right now.
Yeah, unless something very, very, very stupid happens in real life or something like that, there's no way BGT can catch up with this commanding lead.
Saying it's an uphill battle is one thing. Out of solar system battle may be a little more appropriate at this point. And that is absolutely no disrespect to bentglasstube. He's a very great player at this game. He's just a little more deliberate than most are. Koper's an old pro at this. He's willing to take the risks and just kind of roll with the punches and keep going there. So a 5 gem to nothing lead is, oh man, that's tough. You don't want to ever say the race is over before it's over, because you never know what can happen. All we're saying is that there's a clear favorite, folks, and it would be dishonest on our behalf to tell you that this is still a race. And speaking of that, Koper has walked into Dark Link's room, so barring the absolute worst RNG in the universe, I think we're done. Wow, we're done. And we might as well just get... What? Yeah. Oh, look at that. Dark Link making a play. No, we're done. We're done. Your winner in the second race of the 2020 Zelda 2 Randomizer Max Rando Tournament by an immaculately played game. Cannot say that enough. That was just... BGT did good, but I saw zero flaws on Koper's side there. He just manhandled this thing the whole way through. That was a thing of beauty. So he is our winner tonight. So all you beautiful humans in the chat, get your GGs out. Get your
that
GGs
was a great play, Sid.
Yeah, absolutely. And with any luck, we can get our runners in here. Well, at least Koper for now in here for a little chatty pooski. And, BGT, guys, you got to give him some respect. He is going to finish this thing out no matter what. So we will be here. We're going to cheer on BGT the whole way through there. Maybe took him just a little longer to find a couple of things there, but he's got everything he needs, so he's cruising at this point. all he's got to do is get her done. So let's sit back and enjoy what's left of this one, shall we?
Yeah, it was very unfortunate because both players took very different routes from the start. jkoper went immediately to the Eastern continent. bentglasstube stayed in the Western continent, and it looked like it was kind of hard to navigate this Western continent. Also, he digged inside Palace 6, and it took him a long time to realize that both the item and the boss in Palace 6 were glove blocked. So yeah, it was a pretty unfortunate seed for him, but yeah, I think he will place his gems in no time and finish this one. He's a very good player.
Oh yeah, with glove in hand, it's not going to take too long for BGT to finish this one up here. And you are absolutely not wrong, Victor. BGT definitely did overcommit to number 6 there. Well, you don't want to say overcommit there. It's more a matter of gambling on it, because it's not necessarily that the item, the boss, or both are necessarily glove blocked in Palace 6, but unfortunately he did get that bad news that couldn't really do either of them there, and it did take him quite a long time to get to that point as well. So that's certainly a contributor, if nothing else, to the difference in the placement of this race. Yeah.
And we have jkoper with us here tonight. And congratulations, man, and GG.
Yeah, thank you.
You took the first gamble and went immediately to the Eastern continent, and that was great. You got your levels up, and you didn't find anything crucial there at first, but it was a great choice because bentglasstube didn't find anything in the Western continent either. So yeah, congratulations on that move.
Yeah, thanks. I think whenever I get the raft that early, I'm always gonna head east, probably because there's, if not an early item, there's a pretty good chance of an early 500 point bag or something, and that can be pretty dang helpful right at the start of the race. So
Absolutely, I agree with you 100% on that, and I'm right there with you. You want to go east because, hey, if you step on a tile that you think there's an item but there's not, there's going to be 500 points there. Those are early levels. Those make a huge difference early on. And one thing that I wanted to ask you, perhaps by your perspective, maybe you found the glove a little later than you would have liked to at the back of more or less a free cave on Eastern Hyrule. What were you thinking right about that time in the race?
well, I heard you talking a little bit when I came in about BGG going into 3 or 6 or both, maybe without the glove. So I know that I got it well before he did, or I must have. But I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like it was readily accessible over there, and there was a chance that he had it first, maybe, but it felt fine. I think, I don't think you want to check like pretty much every spot outside of palaces 3 through 6 before finding the glove, and outside of Death Mountain, of course, too. But yeah, I think the thing that was most annoying in this seed was the lack of hints anywhere. Like, no one knew anything until
that is something that we definitely noticed between the both of players. You both talked to quite a lot of NPCs in both towns, and I think the only single hint that we actually saw was on BGT's side, and it wasn't a particularly good hint at that. So you're not wrong.
Yeah,
I did see a hint.
Cross being in Maida.
I saw a hint for the there was a heart container in Palace 6, So when I got that heart container in 6, I knew that I was getting it. But I figured with only 5 hearts, I'll just go ahead and grab it. Seems like a good safe move. And it's a good thing that I was prepared for that Great Palace because, oh man, if I hadn't been, I mean, it wouldn't have made one bit of difference.
It wasn't particularly long, but you're not wrong. There were definitely some nasty enemy combinations in there. So, well, they say there's no being over prepared, right? So, I think you basically played this seed as well as anyone could have, honestly. Like, just having watched you play it back there, I can't think of anything literally any other player could have done better. So, just want to say, not just congratulations on winning the race, but well done on basically putting on a clinical performance here, man. Good job.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know that I necessarily agree, but I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, you had some very good fights. One against the rivers were very good, and there was this bridge in Palace One, I believe, that had a hammer brother, and you dealt with it very, very, very well.
Oh yeah, well the second time after I took a swim the first time, I think I should have cast fairy. There was no reason really not to. But yeah, I certainly had that option available to me too. But it seemed like more fun to not, so I didn't. Plus, I was getting experience and stuff. So but yeah, thanks guys for stepping up and commentating and tracking, restreaming, all that stuff. Hope you had fun.
Yeah, we
Well,
did. It was very interesting.
I hope you're feeling really copacetic tonight there. Pardon the pun. I just want to thank you and quite yet for giving us a fun race to watch here. Maybe it wasn't the closest race ever, but I think you guys both did a couple of neat things here and there, and I'm speaking for not just myself and Victor here, but everyone else in the chat room in Zelda Speedruns. We enjoyed this immensely, and we're looking forward to the next time both you guys play a race there. So, hey, take her easy, buddy.
Holy shit, I'm blowing up.
Yeah, thanks. It's an interesting change of pace after the race I did yesterday. This one was just slightly shorter by 9+ hours. But,
oh yeah, I just want to point this out for anyone in the chat right now that was not aware of this. But our current victor, who's talking with us right now, jkoper, participated yesterday in a 5-game Zelda randomizer race. That is Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, and Ocarina of Time. I unfortunately cannot confirm or deny the end results because I fell asleep, but that is a massive commitment for probably at least 8-ish hour long race there. So if you aren't following this guy already, you absolutely should follow this guy. Like, I'm a beautiful human, but this guy is a gorgeous human, if you get what I'm saying. Follow jkoper, and for the matter, follow bentglasstube, our runner-up here. He's still working on it here, but hey man, I like that guy too. Follow them both.
What do you think about boner garages?
Just do it.
It's on them. I'm just here to have fun.
Would help if I unmuted to the channel. Seeing as bentglasstube has a bit to go here, I'm going to send you all off to watch him right here over there. But before you go, there's a couple things on the schedule. The biggest thing is coming up on the 14th at noon Eastern. We have a 3D 100% relay. So that's Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and Breath of the Wild. All in a row.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. At least 3 of those games are good. And I'm not going to say which ones those are, just to tee-hee-hee. They're all good.
Okay, so I want to give a huge shout out to Zelda Speedruns for making this possible, and of course, Shadow Magi, our restreamer, and Ricky of Kokiri, our tracker for tonight, and of course the legendary Jackimus Wench for commentating here with me tonight. So yeah, thank you, and it was very fun. And
it was an absolute pleasure, Victor, man. I'm hoping you and me can hook up once again soon.
Park it anywhere, you know? That's how teenagers go.
Yeah, hopefully this will be a very long tournament.
But I think it's all forgiven. Hey man, you could confuse me for, any type of random hick that you think of, right? Right?
Sorry.
It balances out, right? You don't know where I'm from. I just sound like a hick, right? It's all good, right?
That is a lot more like the kind
I guess.
I kid. Dude, you're awesome. All you people that are watching us are awesome. My name is Jackimus Wedge. My beautiful co-commentator is Vitor. I want to thank you guys for tuning in with us tonight. We are going to send you over to bentglasstube, and as was alluded, we have some crazy 3D Zelda relay going on here tomorrow-ish. So that's like all the 3D Zelda games, including all the good ones and the bad ones. You can decide which ones those are, because I like messing with you.
The relay's not till Friday, but tomorrow there is one more, another weekly race for Zelda 2 Randomizer.
Oh, well, geez, that's even more important than that. So yeah, all that things I said about that, yeah, that's not till Friday. More importantly, we have some Zelda 2 tomorrow. That's way, way more important. That is the best Zelda game. And you know it's true.
It is.
So, I just have one final thought to leave with you, and after that, Victor is going to close us out. So all I want to say to all of you and yours, I love you all, and let's go Bruins!
Yeah, good night, everybody. Thanks a million.